This is Heart Rhythm TV, and I'm Mikhael El-Chami. This is day one HRX. It's a pleasure to host Kris Shah, who's a former president of Bayless Medical. Kris, how are you?
Very good. Thank you. It's my honor to be here, Michael. Thank you.
I just listened to your inspiring speech, and I'd like to share with some of our audience a little bit about your background and journey with Bayless Medical.
Yeah, sure. So first, my family immigrated from India, and we grew up in Canada. So I grew up south of Toronto, and I'm an electrical engineer by training. And when I was going through engineering school, Frank Bayless, myself, we were decided to go in business together and look for different business opportunities. And eventually, we ended up in medical device business as a result of Frank's mother, who had founded the company as a distribution company, buying and selling devices in Canada. So we joined that. Then eventually we developed our own set of products. And our first set of products in spinal space, ablating spinal tumors and spinal nerves. And then we sold that business to Kimberly-Clark and reinvented ourselves in cardiology space. That's how we kind of got into cardiac space.
So throughout your journey, can you tell us about some of your relationship with the physicians, how physicians helped you, pioneer the RF needle?
Sure. I would say the role of physicians and early adopters was absolutely crucial for us to be where we are and develop technology that's helping hundreds of thousands of patients today. Our base technology came out of hospital for sick children, working with Dr. Lee Benson, who was an early adopter of RF devices. And our device came out of congenital heart defect, or being able to puncture through atriatic valves, pulmonary valve in particular, to establish a blood flow to lung in newborns. Then that technology was adopted for hypoplastic left heart syndrome, where you have small left heart, and BRK needle has higher rate of tamponade. So it got adopted in congenital heart defects, then eventually came to adults. And so then we took that RF wire that was used for pulmonary atresia and made a catheter out of it called toner-10 septal catheter in mid-2000s, and we launched that. And the concept was very well and was very well received, but was not adopted. And we learned hard way that what resonates, people will buy one or two, but may not buy more because it didn't feel comfortable in their hands. So we developed that into new version of that, called it RF needle, energy needle, and that worked quite well in physicians' hand. They felt comfortable with that. We launched that in 2010, and then slowly that got adopted. Then we reinvented ourselves and made a wire version of the device, kind of going back to the wire version. That was called the VersaCross in that way.
So that brings me to an important question.
Sure.
We as physicians always, when we have something that works and we're satisfied with it, it's very hard to get us to change. So when I, in my practice, was using the RF powered needle, I'm like, this device works well, why would I change it? And then when I tried the RF powered, the VersaCross, I changed almost all my procedure to the VersaCross. So as an innovator, what drives you to always try to improve your product? You have something that works, that generates money. Why would you change it? Why would you improve it?
You know, it's a very, very important question. As a physician, your first line of thought is always safety. So something's working, is safe in your hands, why change? That's a fair question. As an engineer or innovators, we always think about how can we improve on things. So when we look at the world, say the practice of medicine today is not the same as it was 10 years ago. It won't be the same 10 years from now. So unless we are agent to change, something else will get done. So we had RF needle, we're doing quite well with that. But you always worry someone else will come in and reinvent a better system. So you're better off reinventing it ourselves. So we were constantly looking at how to improve the needle and how to make it more efficient. And we were working on a system to do transeptal from the neck, actually superior transeptal. And from there, the needle is not adaptable to work, because as you push, you'll go south, not go west. So we came up with the RF wire that could puncture into that. And while we were experimenting with that, we said, what if we flipped it around and tried it from the femoral? Then immediately you could see the procedural workflow efficiencies that will come with that. And that's how we came up. So it's kind of, mindset has to be that we constantly have to innovate, or someone will innovate us out of that. We cannot be stand still, and which is opposite to how physicians naturally have to think.
No, well, another question I have for you. What kind of advice do you have for a physician who has an idea and wants to take it to the next step? What do you think in your mind the hardest thing to get over it, to get it to the next step?
Yeah. I would say, first of all, like if you have an idea, believe in your idea that there's maybe something here. Often people may dismiss this. I think believe in the idea. If you have the ability through the hospital, Innovation Society or Innovation Department to file a patent on it, that would be the strongest position where you can protect your intellectual property, even as a provisional patent. Then you can kind of go through kind of prototyping it, if some resources are available, or you may want to partner with the company. But in general, further you can go, the better off you are. So if you have a piece of paper, idea, having a provisional patent, having a prototype, having done, say, preclinical in animal, further down you go, the better off you are to show the value of that. Then either have the means of setting up a company, which is very difficult as a working physician, but then you may have to partner with either university-based incubators or a company to go do that. But in general, further you can push, better off you are in that way to create more value for yourself and the invention.
Well, I'd like to thank you for first being with us, but also thank you for all the innovations you have contributed to the field of EP, structural heart, and congenital heart disease. I think the RF-powered needle and the RF-powered wires have improved the safety of transeptal in our day-to-day procedures. And second, I'd like to thank you for sharing all your experience with us. Thank you again.
First of all, I'm very grateful to be asked and honored to do it. And we feel grateful to be part of advancing medicine, even for making the procedure safer. And even now, as ablation goes into ambulatory surgery center, that can only happen if technologies were safe enough. Whether it be ablation or transeptal puncture, if your tamponade rate was high, would never go to ASCs, right? So to be part of the journey for us is very, very gratifying, and I thank you very much for your very, very kind words. It means an awful lot to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.